Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Elgi Buriyanti. I will explain about validity and reliability. Defining validity. Validity is an important key to effective research. If a piece of research is invalid, then it is worthless. Validity is thus a requirement for both quantitative and qualitative or naturalistic research. There are several different kinds of validity: content validity, criterion-related validity, construct validity, internal validity, external validity, concurrent validity, phase validity, jury validity, predictive validity, consequential validity, systematic validity, catalytic validity, ecological validity, cultural validity, descriptive validity, interpretive validity, theoretical validity, and evaluative validity. A piece of research invalid if it were not striving to meet certain kind of validity, e.g., A. Generalizability, B. Replicability, C. Controllability. Hence, the result will need to locate discussion of validity within the research paradigm that is being used. Nevertheless, validity must be faithful to its premises, and positivist research has to be faithful to positivist principles. For example, controllability, replicability, predictability, the derivation of law and universal statement of behavior, context freedom, fragmentation and atomization of research, randomization of samples. Naturalistic research has several principles. Lincoln and Guba 1985, Bogdan and Biklen 1992. First, the natural setting is the principal source of data. Second, context-boundedness and thick description are important. Third, data are socially situated and socially and culturally saturated. Next, the researcher is part of the researched world. Next, as we live in an already interpreted world. Next, there should be holism in the research. Next, the researcher, rather than a research tool, is the key instrument of research. Next, the data are descriptive. Next, there is a concern for process rather than simply with outcomes. Next, data are analyzed inducatively rather than using a priori categories. Next, data are presented in terms of the respondents rather than researcher. Next, saying and reporting the situation should be through the eyes of participants from the native point of view, according to Gerd 1974. Next, respondent validation is important. And the last, catching meaning and intention are essential. Next, according to Maxwell 1992, argues for 5 kinds of validity in qualitative methods that explore his notion of understanding. First, descriptive validity. Descriptive validity, the factual accuracy of the account, that it is not made up, selective, or distorted. Second, interpretive validity. Interpretive validity, the ability of the research to catch the meaning, interpretation, terms, intention, that situation, and event. Third, theoretical validity, the theoretical construction that the researcher brings to the research, including those of the researcher. Theory here is regarded as explanation. Theoretical validity is the extent to which the research explains phenomena. 4. Generalizability. The view that the theory generates may be useful in understanding other similar situations. Generalizing here refers to generalizing within specific group or communities. 5. Evaluative validity. The application of an evaluative judgmental of that which is being researched rather than a descriptive, explanatory, interpretive framework. Next, triangulation. Triangulation may be defined as the use of two or more methods of data collection in the study of same aspect of human behavior. The use of multiple methods or the multiple methods approach. Next, type of triangulation and their characteristic. Type of triangulation. First, time triangulation. This type attempts to take into consideration the factors of change and process by utilizing cross-sectional and longitudinal design. Next, space triangulation. This type attempts to overcome the parochialism of study conducted in the same country or within the same subculture by making use of cross-cultural techniques. Next, combined levels of triangulation. This type uses more than one level or analyzed from the three principal levels used in the social science, namely the individual level, the interactive level or group, and the level of collectivities or organizational, cultural, and societal. Next, theoretical triangulation. This type draws upon alternative or competing theories in preference to utilizing one viewpoint only. Next, investigator triangulation. This type engages more than one observer. Data are discovered independently by more than one observer, according to Silverman 1993. Next, methodological triangulation. This type uses either the same methods on different occasions or different methods on the same object of study. Next, characteristic of triangulation. First, group analysis, the interaction patterns of individuals and groups. Second, organizational units of analysis, units which have qualities not possessed by the individuals making that up. Third, institutional analysis, relationship within and across the legal, political, economic, and familial institution of society. Next, ecological analysis, concerned with spatial explanation. Next, cultural analysis, concerned with norms, values, practices, tradition, and ideologies of a culture. Next, societal analysis, concerned with growth factors such as urbanization, industrialization, education, wealth, and others. Next, ensuring validity. At the design stage, threats to validity can be minimized by first, using an appropriate time scale. Second, ensuring that there are adequate resources for the required research to be undertaken. Third, selecting an appropriate methodology for answering the research question. Fourth, selecting appropriate instrumentation for gathering the type of data required. 5. Using an appropriate sample, e.g., one which is representative, not too small or too large. 6. Demonstrating internal, external, content, concurrent, and construct validity and operationalizing the constructs fairly. 7. Ensuring reliability in terms of stability, consistency, equivalence, spill health analysis of test material. 8. Selecting appropriate foci to answer the research question. 9. Devising and using appropriate instruments, for example, to catch accurate, representative, relevant, and comprehensive data. 10. Voiding a biased choice of researcher of research team, e.g., insider or outsider as researcher. Next, reliability in quantitative research. The meaning of reliability differs in quantitative and qualitative research. We explore this concept separately in the next two sections. Reliability in quantitative research is essential a synonym for dependability, consistency, and replicability over time, over instrument, and over groups of respondents. Three principal types of reliability. First, reliability as stability. Reliability is a measure of consistency over time and over similar samples. A reliable instrument for a phase of research will yield similar data from similar respondents over time. Second, reliability as equivalence. Within this type of reliability, there are two main sorts. First, reliability may be achieved first through using equivalence form, also known as alternative form, of a test or data gathering instrument. Second, reliability as equivalence may be achieved through interactor reliability. Third, reliability as internal consistency. An alternative measure of reliability as internal consistency in the Cron-Betz alpha, frequently referred to as the alpha coefficient of reliability or simply the alpha. Reliability to construct makes several assumptions, for example, that instrumentation, data, and findings should be controllable, predictable, consistent, and replicable. Next, reliability in qualitative research. In qualitative research, reliability can be regarded as a fit between what researchers record as data and what actually occurs in the natural setting that is being researched. Further, according to Dezin and Lincoln, 1994, suggests that reliability as replicability in qualitative research can be addressed in several ways. First, stability of observation. Whether the researcher would have made the same observation and interpretation of this if they had been observed at a different time or in a different place. Second, parallel form. Whether the researcher would have made the same observation and interpretation of what had been seen if he or she had paid attention to other phenomena during the observation. Third, interactor reliability. Whether another observer with the same theoretical framework and observing the same phenomena would have interpreted them in the same way. Next, validity and reliability in interview. In interview, inference about validity are made too often on the basis of face validity. One way of validating interview measures is to compare the interview measures with another measure that has already been shown to be valid. This kind of comparison is known as convergent validity. Next, validity and reliability in experiments. The fundamental purpose of experiment design is to impose control over conditions that would otherwise cloud the true effects of the independent variable upon the dependent variables. According to Braggs and Glass 1968 and Lewis-Beck 1993 distinguish between internal validity and external validity. In internal validity is concerned with the question, do the experimental treatment in fact make a difference in the specific experiments under scrutiny? Threats to internal validity, history, maturation, statistical regression, testing instrumentation, selection, instrument reactivity, and selection, maturation, interaction. Next, validity external. External validity, on the other hand, asks the question, given these demonstrable effects, to what population or settings can they be generalized? Next, validity and reliability in questionnaires. The advantage of the questionnaire over interview, for instance, are it tends to be more reliable because it is anonymous. It encourages greater honesty. True, of course, this honesty and falsification might not be able to be discovered in a questionnaire. It is more economical than the interview in terms of time and money, and there is the possibility that it can be mailed. Next, there are several threats to validity and reliability here. For example, first, the researcher in exploring the present may be unaware. Second, informants may be unrepresentative of the sample in the study. Third, the presence of the observer might bring about different behavior, reactivity, and ecological validity. Fourth, the researcher might go native, becoming to attach the group to see it sufficiently dispassionately. Next, validity and reliability in tests. According to Feld and Brennan 1993, suggests four types of trait of reliability. First, individual. Their motivation, concentration, forgetfulness, health, carelessness, passing, their relate skill, like reading ability and other. Second, situational factors. The physiological and physical condition for the test, the context. Third, situation factors. The physiological and physical condition for the test, the context. 4. Instrument variables. Poor domain sampling, errors in sampling tasks, and others. Next, validity and reliability in life histories. Three central issues underpin the quality of data generated by life story methodology. There are to do with representativeness, validity, and reliability. Bias arises from the informant, the researcher, and the interactional encounter itself. Maybe that's all for me. Sorry for my mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.